Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and today we are going to solve a Skyscraper Sudoku created by Riad Khanmagomedov. Riad is an excellent Sudoku and puzzle author from Russia, and he has contributed to many online contests at Logic Masters India website. This Sudoku is taken from one such contest on LMI website called the September Sudoku contest, and this contest happened in 2013. I will add the link to the contest page in the description of the video. The puzzle PDF is still available for download and you can still try out the Sudokus from the contest. Also, the online solving interface for this Sudoku is given in the description of the video, so please do give it a try before watching this video. Moving on to the rules of the Sudoku, you have to place digits from 1 to 9 in each row, each column and each 3x3 box, and there are some outside clues given inside the grid, right? So in a Skyscraper Sudoku, each digit inside the grid is like a building of that height. So the clues indicate the number of buildings that you can see when you look from that direction. So, and taller buildings will always hide smaller buildings, right? So for example, if you have a 2 clue here, then it means that you can only see 2 buildings from this direction, and when you have a 5 clue, you can see exactly 5 buildings from that direction. So these are the rules of the Sudoku. With that, we'll start solving the Sudoku. There are some general tips before starting any Skyscraper Sudoku. I will briefly go through them. One such tip is that always look for clues which have a 1 outside the grid, because it is very simple to place. So let's say you have a 1 here, which means that you'll straight away have a 9 in this digit, because 9 is the tallest building and it will hide all other smaller buildings, and because you see only one building from this direction, the first cell nearest to the clue will always be a 9 when the outside clue is a 1. The next trick is that when you have the outside clue as 2, you can never have 8 as the second building, or rather 8 as the second digit from that direction. So what I mean is, let us take this 2 clue. You can never have an 8 in this cell when you have the outside clue as 2, because regardless of whether the 9 comes in front of 8 or behind 8, you can never satisfy the 2 clue when you have the 8 as the second building. So let us see 9 is here. Then the outside clue is violated because it has to be 1. And if you have the 9 in any of these cells, that is behind the 8, you will see 3 buildings, right? Because this building will be smaller in height than 8. So you see already 2 buildings, and you will also see the 9. So which means that you will be seeing 3 buildings. So you can never satisfy the 2 clue when you have 8 as the second cell from that direction. So these are some of the simpler tricks. Some of the advanced tricks I will try to cover, or not advanced tricks, but rather proper approach to solve these Skyscraper Sudokus we will be covering during the course of the Sudoku. So let us try to solve this Sudoku by placing some easier classic digits. We have a 3 in column 3 and column 2, which means that 3 must go into one of these 2 cells. There is a 2 in row 4 and row 6 and column 4, so which means 2 in box 5 has only 2 cells left. And I think that's about it. You don't have any assistance from the digits already given inside the grid in the form of classic solving. So we have to focus on the variant property. So in Skyscraper Sudokus, always start from the highest digits. That is, you have to mark all possibilities of 9 inside each box and see if that leads to elimination. This is one of the strongest approaches to start any classic Sudoku. So we will use the same approach in this Sudoku, because 9 is the tallest building and obviously it will have severe restrictions in relation to the outside clues. So let us start by placing the position of 9 in this grid. So which box do we go for? Let us go to this box, because it seems to be constricted. You can start with any box. I am starting with box 7. So obviously 9 can be present in all these 3 cells because there is no outside clue to restrict, and 9 cannot be in this cell because 2 clue will be violated. So if the 9 is here, then this clue will be a 1, so 9 can't be here, and 9 cannot be here as well because the 3 clue will be violated. And because of this 5 clue, you will have 9 at least 5 cells away in this direction, so 9 cannot be in these 3 cells as well. So 9 must be in one of these 3 cells. However, because of the 7 clue, you can eliminate the 9 from here as well, because you will see at least 7 building in this direction, which indirectly means that 9 will at least be 7 cells farther away from the viewing direction, right? So 9 must be in one of these 2 cells in box 7. Now let us move on to this box. 9 cannot be in these 3 cells because of the 5 clue, or using the simple classic rule, and 9 must be in these 6 cells, right? And because of this 5 clue, you can eliminate the 9s from here, and this 3 clue eliminates the 9 from here, this 2 clue eliminates the 9 from here. So you have only 2 possible cells for the 9, which means 9 in row 9 must go into one of these 3 cells. And now we have the 5 skyscraper clue helping us. You can't have the 9 here, then you will see a max of only 4 buildings, so which means 9 must be in one of these 2 cells. Now let us go to this box, right? 9 cannot be here and cannot be here as well, because 4 clue will be violated. And for this 2-3 clues, you can't have 9 in any of these 4 cells, right? Because it will lead to a violation. So which means 9 must be in one of these 2 cells, and that eliminates the 9 from this cell, which gives us a 9 here. So we have got our first digit, and using classic property, we can narrow down 9 to one of these 3 cells in box 3. But 9 can't be here, because then the outside clue has to be 1, and 9 also cannot be here because of the 3 clue. So 9 would have to go here, right? Let us go to this box. 9 can only be in these 5 cells, right? Can't be anywhere else. But because of the 3 skyscraper clue and 5 skyscraper clue, you can eliminate the 9 from all these 3 cells, right? Because if you have a 5 as outside clue, then the 9 must be at least 5 cells away. So from all these 3 cells, you can eliminate the 9 because they will violate the outside clue. So there are only 2 possible options left to us. Now let us come to this box. 9 can only be in these 6 cells. Can't be here. Cannot be here because of the 3 clue. And it can be in all of these 3 cells. No problems whatsoever. So now we have boxes 4 and 5 left to fill the 9s. Let us look at box 4 now. 9 cannot be in these 2 cells because of the 3 clue. 9 can be here, and these 6 cells, 9 can be there. Let us eliminate them. 4 clue means that 9 will at least be present from this cell only, so you can eliminate the 9s. And because of the 7 clue, you can eliminate the 9 from here also. So which means that 9 can be here, here or here, right? Now if you look at column 8, right, there is exactly 1 cell left for the 9. 9 can't be in these 2 cells, can't be in these 3 cells, and can't be in these cells. So which means that you can place the 9 here. So we got our another 9, which gives us the 9 in box 2, and which gives us the 9 here, right? And which gives us the 9 in box 4, and that gives us the 9 here, and that gives us the 9 here, right, in box 4, which gives us the 9 here. So we have placed all the 9s. So you see how skyscraper Sudokus are progressing, right? We have started by placing the possible positions of 9, and we are immediately able to place all the 9. So this is how you start skyscraper Sudokus. Always try to place the highest digit 9 in all the boxes, because most of the authors will go about constructing by restricting positions of 9. So it is a good idea to always try to place the 9s first in a skyscraper Sudoku. So now that we have placed 9s, let us look for 8s, right? Now which box do we start with? You can start with any box. Let us start with this box again. So 8 can be in any of these cells. Let us eliminate one by one, right? Okay. Because of this 5 clue, you can straight away eliminate 8 from these 3 cells. Because if you have an 8 here, then you can see at max only 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can eliminate 8 from all these 3 cells, and this 7 clue eliminates the 8 from here, right? And all these cells are possible for the 8 in this box. Now let us go to this box. So because of this 5 clue, you can eliminate 8 from these cells. So 8 can be here, 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 here and here, right? And because of this 3 clue, you can eliminate the 8 from here, and this 5 clue eliminates the 8 from here. And this 2 clue, as we already stated at the beginning of the solve, 8 can never be the second cell from that direction when the outside clue is 2, because it will violate the skyscraper property. So you can eliminate the 8 from here, which means that 8 has only 2 possible options in this box. Now again, you have the 2 clue here, right? So which means that 8 cannot be here, because if you have the 8 here, then you will see at least 3 buildings, right? You will see the first building and you will see 8 and 9. So which gives us a total of 3 buildings at least. So 8 can be eliminated from here also. So you have only 2 possible cells left in box 7. Now let us try to place the 8s in box 6. So 8 can be in all these cells for now. Let us eliminate. So because of this 3 clue, you can eliminate 8 from here. And because of this 4 clue, you can eliminate 8 from here. And all the cells look likely now, right? Yeah, there is no more elimination for now. But one thing we can see clearly is that all these 6 cells in column 9 can't contain the 8, because we have restricted 8 to rows, columns 7 and 8. So these 6 cells can't contain an 8, which means in column 9 you need to have the 8 here or here. Obviously you can't have 8 here because 3 will be violated, so which means that you got the 8 here. So look how the Sudoku is progressing. We started with the 9s, placed all the 9s, then we progressed to the 8s. We are looking at the next higher digit. This is how you properly solve a skyscraper Sudoku. Of course there are many ways to solve it, but this way will be less time consuming and will be of less effort involved too. So 8 cannot be in row 2 now, which means that 8 in box 1 will be in these 4 cells only, and this 3 clue eliminates the 8 from here, so which means that 8 must go into these 3 cells. And now if you look closely, box 1 and box 7, you can't have 8 in column 2, right? So which means 8 in column 2 would have to go into one of these 3 cells, right? So for the 3 clue you can still have the 8 here, but for the 4 clue you cannot have the 8 here, because then you will see only 3 buildings. So 8 can be eliminated from here. So which means that 8 has 2 possible cells left. Now let us look at this box to see if we can further restrict the 8s. So 8 cannot be in these cells, so 8 has to be in these 5 cells. 8 can't be here because of the 3 clue. 8 obviously can't be here because of this. And 8 also can't be here because then you will see 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. So 8 can't be here. So 8 has to be in these 2 cells, right? So this box has lots of possibilities for the 8. So let us not focus at it for now. And okay, so let us look at row 8. This is kind of a breakthrough if you see. When you have the outside clues on either direction as 2, then it must mean that 8 must be present in one of the nearest cells, or rather the extreme cells, because we know that 9 will be present somewhere in that row. And when you have a 2 clue on either direction, you cannot have 8 in front of the 9, right? For example, if you take this 2 clue, you cannot have 8s anywhere here. So 8 obviously must be here. But if you don't have the 8s anywhere here, then 8 has to go here, right? So when you have the 2 clues outside on either direction, the nearest cell or the 8s must be restricted to one of the extreme cells only, right? So which means that 8 must either be here or here. You can simply try placing any of the 8s here and see if it's working out. It will obviously not work out. So which means that we have already restricted 8 to one of these 2 cells, so 8 can't be here. So which means that 8 has to go here, right? This will be an 8, and that eliminates the 8 from these 2 cells, which gives us an 8 here, which eliminates the 8 from here, which gives us an 8 here, right? And now I think we can get some 8s. So in box 8, you can't have the 8 in this column, you also can't have the 8 here, and you also can't have the 8 here, which means 8 must go into one of these 2 cells, right? And okay, now we have placed almost all the 8s, right? This box will have 4 possible positions for 8, which is not going to help. Look at this 7th clue. The next step is to see when you are when you are getting stuck after placing all positions, look for outside clues which are larger in value. This 7th clue is striking the eye, right? It is very large in value, and you also have the 9 exactly 7 cells away from this direction, which means that you must see all the buildings in that direction. When you view from that direction and the 9 is the 7th cell from that direction, it obviously means that you have to see all the cells, right? Now that means that 8 cannot be here because 8 is the next largest building to 9, and if you place the 8 here, then you can't see this building, which will violate the 7 clue. So we can place the 8 here, right? So this will be an 8, and which eliminates the 8 from here, right? And which means that 8 must go into one of these 3 cells, right? So let us start by placing the 8s now. Okay, 8 must go into one of these 3 cells in boxes 5 and 6. Not of much use now. Okay, let us look at this 7 clue now. All these cells must be in increasing order as we stated earlier. So which means that this 3 must be greater than whatever comes here, so that you see this building, right? So this must be 1 or a 2, right? So which means that, okay, now this is also helping us. Look at this 5 clue. You have the 9 exactly 5 cells away from this cell, which means that you have to see all these cells. So which basically means this building has to be seen when you look from this direction. So it obviously cannot be 1. If you have a 1, then you will hide this building and 5 will be violated. So this would have to be a 2. Beautiful, right? So which means that this would have to be a 1 because you have to see all these 4 buildings, right? And now because of these 2s, we can get a classic 2, right? And can we place any more 8s? No, right? These 8s in these 2 boxes are kind of locked. We can't do anything about it. So let us focus on this 7 for now. All these 3 cells must be seen and they must be greater than the 3 and less than the 8. So if you can have a maximum of 5 here, I think, right? So this cell can either be 4 or a 5, and this cell can either be 5 or a 6, and this cell can either be 6 or a 7, right? Because of the 7 clue, you can have a max of 7 here or 6 here, so that all these 3 buildings are seen. And this can be resolved now because of this 5. So you get a 6 here now, and this will be a 7. Great, right? Look how the Sudoku is progressing. We started with the highest digits and we are already getting some good flow in the Sudoku. And otherwise hard Sudoku is somewhat solved in an easier way. So you have a 7 here, so which means that 7 must go into one of these 2 cells. Now we are shifting gears and focusing on the 7s. So for this 3 clue, the 8 building is already hidden. So you obviously cannot have a 7 here, because if you have the 7, then you must see the 8 and the 9, right? So 7 can be eliminated from here. So this will be a 7, and which must mean that 7 must go into one of these 2 cells, right? Okay. And let us continue focusing on the 7s. So 7 must go into one of these 3 cells in column 1, right? Okay. And 7 can be in either of these cells. Not of much use for now. Let us focus on the 7s in these cells. So 7 can be here but cannot be here, because then 3 will be violated. So we can place the 7 here, and 7 cannot be here because of this 5 clue. 7 can be here. 7 also can't be here because then you will see 1, 2, 3 and 4, a maximum 4 buildings only. So you can't have the 7 here, but you can have the 7 here, right? Okay, let us focus on the 7s in box 3 now. You can't have the 7 in column 7, so 7 must go into one of these 3 cells. You can obviously eliminate the 7 from here because of the 4 clue. So 7 must go into one of these 2 cells, which by classic we can eliminate the 7 from here and from here. Great. So can the 7 be here? We already see the 8 and the 9 buildings, and we will see the first building. So which means that if you have the 7 here, you will have some building which is less than the 7, and 3 will be violated. So 7 would have to go in this cell. Superb solve, guys. Superb Sudoku. So using these 2 7s and this 7, we can narrow down 7 to one of these 2 cells. And using this 4 clue, we can eliminate the 7 from here, because if you place the 7 here, then you must have the 8 in one of these 2 in between cells. But you have the 8 behind the 9, and it is hidden clearly when you watch from this direction. So 7 can be eliminated from here, which gives us a 7 here, right? And that forces the 7 here using classic rule. So which means that 8 must be in one of these 2 cells, which gives us the 8 here. Look how beautifully the Sudoku is progressing, guys. So these 2 cells must be 2, 6, but 6 is here, and this must be a 6 now, and this must be a 2. Look how fast now the Sudoku is beginning to progress. Once you get the highest digits, the Sudoku invariably becomes somewhat easier. I have noticed this in many skyscraper Sudokus. The 7s can't be resolved yet in boxes 2 and 8. So let us leave that for now. Let us focus a bit on the classic part. Look at row 6. The only possible digits remaining are 1 and 4, so we can place them, right? Then let us look at row 4, which is quite constricted, or rather restricted. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8 and 9. So remaining are 3, 5 and 6, but 6 is here, so this must be a 3, 5, and these two cells must be 3, 5 and 6. Now if you look closely, 6 will be in one of these two cells in row 4. But if you have the 6 here, then you will see this building, and you will obviously see this building because it's greater than 2, and you will also see the 6 and the 7 and the 9, which gives us a total of 5 buildings. So you can eliminate the 6 from there. So this would be a 6. Okay. And the 1s can be placed in box 1 now, because 1 cannot be in row 2 and 1 cannot be in column 1. So 1 would have to go here. And using these 2 1s, we can place the 1 here, classic rule. And these 2 1s gives us a 1 here, again classic rule. And these 2 1s gives us a 1 here, again classic rule. Now we can resolve this row. This would be a 4 and this would be a 1. And we can resolve the 1 in box 6 now. So this cell has to be a 1 using classic rule, and this would be 8. This must be 3 or 5, right? We have got many digits suddenly. 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. So remaining are 3, 5 and 6, right? You cannot have the 6 here because of this 5 clue. Then you will see 6, 7, 8 and 9, only 4 buildings. So you can eliminate the 6 from there. A 3, 5 pair gives us a 6 here. And these two 6ers gives us a 6 in column 4. So this will be a 6 and this will be a 7. And these two 6ers force us the 6 here. And this cell must be 4 or 5. And this also has to be 4 or 5, right? And 6 in column 2 and column 3 gives the 6 in one of these 3 cells. But 6 in row 3 eliminates the 6 from here, and we get a 6, 7 pair now. And this 7 can be used to resolve the 7 here. So this will be a 6, this will be a 7. And these two cells must be 4, 5. Look at how fast the Sudoku, suddenly we seem to have shifted gears, right? We are getting very fast digits. The 7 in these two cells gives us a 7 here, right? And now the only digit left in column 4 is 3, we can place that. Where do we look at now? The 8 here resolves the 8 here, so we'll get an 8 here. And 8 here resolves the 8 here, we'll get an 8 here, right? So along column 6, remaining digits are 4, 5, we can just place them. Let us look at this box. 1, 6, 9, 7 and 8. Remaining digits are 2, 3, 4 and 5, but 2 is in column row 1 and row 7 and row 9, which gives us the 2 here, and remaining are 3, 4, 5. So I think you can resolve this row now because of this 3 clue, and since we see already buildings 8 and 9, you have to have a digit which is greater than this cell. Otherwise we will see 4 buildings in this direction. So which means that row 9 column 9 has to be greater than row 9 column 8 to satisfy the 3 clue. So which means this cannot be a 3. So this is a 5, which means this is a 3, this is a 5, this is a 3, and this would have to be 4 or a 5. And these two cells must be 3, 4. And this 5 gives us a 4 here, a 5 here, a 4 here, a 5 here, a 4 here, a 5 here. Beautiful, right? So this is how much fun you have when you solve skyscraper Sudokus in the right way. And these two cells must be 4, 5 now. And this 3 gives us a 3 here. And this 3 gives us a 3 here, a 4 here. And now we can resolve column 8. Remaining digits are 2 and 5, right? A 5 is here, so this is a 5 and this is a 2. And row 3 can be resolved, this would have to be a 4. Remaining digits in column 7 are 3, 6, but 3 is here, so this is a 3 and this is a 6. And 5 here gives us a 4 here, which gives us a 5 and a 4 here. And these two cells must be 2 and 5, right? But 5 is here, so 5 would be here and this would be a 2. Now if you look at any of the skyscraper clue and see if it is satisfied, it will obviously be satisfied. If you look at the 5 clue, you see 2, 5, 7, 8 and 9. You see 5 buildings and that satisfies the property. So hope you all guys understood how to solve a skyscraper clue. Many of the tips that I stated will really be helpful. Always start skyscraper Sudokus by trying to place the highest digits. That will really help you in the solving process. Please let us know in comments whether you enjoyed the video, and we will greatly appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It will be a source of great motivation to us to make videos on a consistent basis. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you.